Screenshot, Fox News, YouTube. White House ghoul Stephen Miller was among a cadre of Trump sycophants making the rounds of Sunday news shows to attempt to yell, smear, and lie their way out of a deepening political crisis. Across the board, I'm happy to report, they all failed miserably. Miller's attempt to deflect from Donald Trump's impeachment inquiry was demolished by Chris Wallace of Fox News. Later, Fox News even noted how badly Miller had performed. Advertisement during the interview, Miller was belligerent, dishonest, and insolent, all of the qualities that make everyone hate him, yet none of his arguments gained any traction. Wallace put up with none of what Miller was serving. And even his smug one-liners fell flat. Did I mention there was a lot of yelling? Highlights include Miller, who works as a White House senior policy advisor, describing the whistleblower complaint as a Nancy Drew novel and a partisan hit job by a deep state operative. And my favorite, his claim that Trump is the real whistleblower in all of this. I think it's unfortunate that the media continues to describe this individual as a whistleblower, and honorific that this individual most certainly does not deserve, Miller started. Advertisement bit Wallace, who had video clips lined up to debunk Miller's lies in real time, interrupted. One was a clip of Acting Director of National Intelligence Joseph Maguire testifying before Congress. I believe that the whistleblower and the Inspector General have acted in good faith throughout. I have every reason to believe that they have done everything by the book and followed the law, Maguire told lawmakers while under oath earlier this week. Advertisement. First of all, if you read the little 7-page Nancy Drew novel that the whistleblower put together, it drips with condescension, righteous indignation, and contempt for the president. It's also ludicrous on its face, Miller said, with zero self-awareness. Wallace pointed out that both Maguire and the Inspector General of the intelligence community found the whistleblower's complaint to be credible and a matter of urgent concern. Advertisement. The wrong, Chris, Miller said, citing his lengthy career of nearly 3 years in federal government. Chris, I've worked in the federal government now for nearly 3 years. I know what the deep state looks like. I know the difference between a whistleblower and a deep state operative. This is a deep state operative, pure and simple. Advertisement, or taxpayer dollars hard at work, paying for that incredible skill in discerning. Enough with the rhetoric, Wallace interjected. Let's talk about some specific facts in this. Why did President Trump use his private attorney Rudy Giuliani, and as we just reported, 2 other private lawyers to try to dig up dirt from the Ukrainian government on Joe Biden, rather than going through his State Department? Advertisement. Miller wasn't really interested in answering this question. But Wallace also wouldn't let him dodge it by reverting to Trumpian talking points. We're going to get to the Bidens in a minute, but I asked you a specific question. I'd like a specific answer, Wallace said. The president has the State Department, he's got the CIA, he's got the Pentagon, he's got a number of other agencies. Why did he use 3 private lawyers to get information on Biden from the Ukrainian government rather than go through all of the agencies of his government? Advertisement. Miller, 2 different points. Number 1, Wallace, how about answering my question? Miller, U.S. Attorney John Durham, as you know. Wallace, wait a minute. John Durham is investigating something completely different. Advertisement. Miller interrupts. Wallace, Stephen, I'm asking you a direct question. Why did the president use private attorneys rather than go to the State Department? If you don't know, that's an acceptable answer, but let's not talk about John Durham. Advertisement. Miller, there's 2 issues. Wallace, I'm not asking 2 issues. Why did he do it? Miller, Chris, I understand that you have your question. I have my answer. There's two issues that were brought up on the phone. Advertisement Wallace, you have your non-answers at this point. Ooh. Advertisement Wallace then grilled Miller on Trump's decision to withhold $391 million in military aid to Ukraine last July, after Congress had approved it. Miller dodged the question before placing the blame on the need for NATO allies to contribute more, and the apparent rampant corruption in Ukraine. Wallace introduced some more facts, pointing out that 2 months before Trump withheld the aid, the Pentagon had certified to Congress that Ukraine had made progress in fighting corruption and the aid should be released. Advertisement. Why did the president, if the argument is corruption, why did the president go against his own Pentagon and his own State Department? Wallace asked. Miller threw his hands up in defensive posturing, pronouncing Wallace's name as if it were a statement. Chris, I don't understand how you can ask that question while at the same time admonishing the president for wanting to get to the bottom of perhaps one of the biggest corruption scandals concerning Ukraine in the last few years. Advertisement. By this point, Miller had already lost, and he should have just gone home. But Wallace wasn't done. I'm not admonishing anybody. I'm simply asking you, why did he? I mean, I like you a lot, with all due respect. This is an exercise in obfuscation. Why did the president go against his own Pentagon and State Department? More shouting. Advertisement. It's the president's job and sworn duty to safeguard taxpayer dollars and the United States government's foreign policy, Miller said. Getting to the bottom of a corruption scandal in Ukraine is in the American national interest. The president is the whistleblower here. The president of the United States is the whistleblower. This individual is a saboteur trying to undermine a democratically elected government. Wallace. Saboteur. Is he a spy? Is he committing treason? I do not know. I'm dead. Wallace asked if Hunter Biden had committed a crime in the Ukraine. Cue the other video clip, which shows Ukraine's former Prosecutor General, Yuri Lutsenko, saying he isn't aware of any violation of Ukrainian law by Biden. More facts, advertisement and more yelling and obfuscation. Finally, Miller had his dismount, which we'll all forget by tomorrow. Advertisement. The single most important point is this. Miller said. The American people in 2016 said we want a completely new direction for our country. They elected new lawmakers and they elected a new president to deliver that direction. He's the sole elected person in the executive branch, but there are deep state operatives, who for 3 years have done nothing but try to leak, undermine, hurt, and harm the ability of this president to institute this change. Do we want to be governed by an unelected bureaucracy or by a democratically elected president? That is the sole issue facing the American people. I wonder where this arsehole will wind up when this is all over. Watch Miller get owned. Let's block ads. Why?